Hey, you crazy capitalists, you whimsical whiskey enthusiasts. Welcome to the Whiskey Capitalist Podcast. I'm Ian.
And I'm Shawn.
And make sure you like, share, subscribe, follow, and comment below. It helps out with the algorithm and all that, usual shit you got to do. Real quick, if you want to have any other information, go to solo.to/thewhiskeycapitalist for all of our links there. Also, go to solo.to/tildeathstudios for any digital media or design at an affordable price, and I'll do it for you. Solo.to/Til Death Podcast for any links to my other podcast that I have with my wife. Til Death Podcast is the channel that you're watching now. And now Shawn can give you a little bit more info about this link that he has for his show.
Yeah, this is my show, the patreon.com/Sippin with Shawn, where I do political commentary, pop culture. I talk about current events, basically a lot of stuff that we kind of do here, but I do it behind a paywall. And I do some free content as well, where I'm able to get away with being able to do some copyrighted materials and this and that. So like we have a good time, and we end up talking about a lot of fun things as well, different topics, and whatever's kind of going on in my daily life as well. So that's another fun channel for you to check out as well.
All right. And tonight, wherever you're watching, we're going to be talking about the FBI's Ohio field office getting attacked by a lone gunman that allegedly was in retaliation to the Trump raid. We're also going to be talking about YouTuber Steven Crowder triggering all of the lefties on Twitter, which usually makes me a little bit happy and laugh. Also, we're going to be talking about the IRS and their 87,000 new employees that apparently will have the license to use weapons and arrest people without warrants, which is kind of scary. And we're also probably going to get into the OnlyFans model, Courtney Clenney, that's being charged with her boyfriend's murder. It's kind of crazy.
That's a crazy story.
Yeah, exactly. And that video came out now.
I didn't see the video. I've been too busy with my family. I know.
Yeah. It's usually not a good idea to look up OnlyFans models when you're with your family. No, there's a video of her like fighting him in an elevator.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So, so that's always good. Yeah, and she should have learned from Amber Heard that getting herself on video in an elevator doing anything shady isn't a good idea. But yeah, so with that, here we go, y'all.
Who else in the level crowd say yeah?
Look at that big, juicy booty.
Hot like a tamale.
Be offended.
Do you love black people? Do you grow?
You know the thing.
Here, next.
Don't be rude. You ain't black.
Shawn Cav.
You're going to have a flame coming out of your butthole.
Heartfelt.
A man and a woman.
That one's so much fun. I love it.
Sorry, the butthole.
You have a flaming ass coming out of your butthole.
Coming out of your butthole.
I love that one.
So good. I can't not laugh. Oh, and we already have some comments from my little brother. You filthy bastard, you. And Till Death, Whiskey Capitalist podcast for life.
Sweet.
Loving it. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. McLean.
We always appreciate that. You can take down the patreon.com/Sippin with Shawn banner. I appreciate that. It's okay. I appreciate the extra little boost, but I'm totally fine with being on brand with the Whiskey Capitalist right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know what? Fine. Then I'm just gonna leave mine up then. Just gonna leave mine up for a minute.
Well, if you have to.
No, so yeah, let's start it off with the IRS stuff, because that's pretty scary.
Yeah, that one really got me because when I was reading about this one initially, I just didn't understand why the IRS needed to hire 87,000 new employees. I mean, the job was getting done beforehand with less employees, correct? Isn't that the whole point? So people send in the taxes, they allocate the money to where it needs to go, and then it goes from point A to point B, and that's kind of what their job entails. The IRS is a bunch of pencil pushers. That's what it is. Hey, yeah, thank you, Pat. Appreciate that. I don't know, it's a bunch of it's pencil pushers. I'm sorry, guys. I will admit right now, I have been drinking all day long, all day.
So I'm gonna be trying to hold up this stream. So God help all of you.
Yeah, well, the thing is, all right, so I can totally maintain myself and compose myself when it comes to conversation, but staying on task is going to be a little tricky, I think, sometimes. But so that's what I'm going to ask you to reel me back in if we ever get too far off topic. But no, I'm saying when I first heard about that, I was the job was already getting done with the previous amount of staff, where it's just allocating money and it's pencil pushing. Why the fuck do they need 87,000 new employees all of a sudden? And the weirdest part to me was what was being asked of them in their application, for prior work experience and or requisites in order for them to get hired. I thought that all of that was very, very weird. I don't know. Have you heard much about that?
I didn't hear about the prerequisite stuff. I haven't been drinking at all, and I'm just R-worded today. No, I haven't really heard too much about that stuff, but I mean, I heard a little bit about it, kind of like I was saying in the intro, just saying, how they what I heard is that they can arrest people without a warrant and without any really probable cause for it.
So that's kind of part of it, but I'm talking about more or less the job requirements, kind of what they're looking for in an employee to hire of these 87,000. 87,000. It's an insane number to think about. So I'm going to pull up this image real quick. And when I share this one, it's crazy because they actually took this down. This is no longer on the IRS website for the job employment thing, but
that's what I remember you saying something about that on Twitter.
Yeah, they took it down, but now screenshots live forever. That's the beauty of this. So like the major duties, like adhere to the highest standards of conduct, especially in maintaining honesty and integrity. Okay, that sounds just about like every job ever. So not that crazy.
Yeah.
Work a minimum of 50 hours per week, which may include irregular hours and be on call 24/7, including holidays and weekends. All right, that's a little demanding because I mean, typically it's a 40-hour work week. That's pretty standard. But then like, having to be on call 24/7. Okay, now like you must be getting paid a pretty decent salary for that. And then also including holidays and weekends, you're more than just a pencil pusher at that point. You're somebody that's like necessary. Like you need in order for your business to like procure like more income, like they need you there essentially. Now like, for me, I feel like the big IRS season would have been like April, May into like June. Like that would have been like, hey, we need to get the employees for this, like kind of like Spirit of Halloween pops up from like a September through October, and then it's gone, and like that, if you're unfamiliar with what Spirit of Halloween is, it's a Halloween store. And it's just a thing that pops up, and they don't have official stores. They rent like vacant brick and mortar locations, and they pop up, and they just kind of, it's a pop-up store. They just kind of they have all their Halloween stuff there. It's a great spot to get costumes and decorations and stuff, but as soon as November 1st rolls around, they're gone. They disappear. So I feel like
spirit stores.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just saying that, like, all right, for the IRS, it makes sense that like there would be like a season that they needed more employees.
Yeah, like tax season.
Yeah, exactly what I'm saying. But like the fact that they're bringing on like more employees, so very weird. All right, so then like, all right, maintain a level of fitness necessary to effectively respond to life-threatening situations on the job. What life-threatening situations are you going to deal with if people they aren't talking about mailing in checks? Maybe they're talking more about like situations where people are going to other people's homes and more or less needing to like, we need to like see your statements. We need to see like what you have in your house, like actual in-person audits. Are we talking about like an audit of the entire fucking nation where like someone might be like putting themselves at like a life-threatening situation for a job? Like these people must be getting paid a ridiculous sum of money in order for this to be like a thing.
How dare you?
Yeah, seriously. The next one is the one that gets me every freaking time, man.
Yeah.
Carry a firearm and be willing to use deadly force if necessary. We're talking about fucking taxes.
Like
taxes.
Oh my God, dude, there's so much that I want to say, but my brain is so jumbled with how pissed off I am at this that like I can't form words.
Yeah, so like this is how insane it is. The fact that like, all right, you might need to kill somebody about if they're not paying their taxes. Is that what we're talking about here? Or are we talking about a scenario where someone hasn't been paying taxes and is threatening you with like deadly force for you to get off their property? Like what is the scenario where an IRS agent needs to like have a weapon? Honestly, if an IRS, I feel like if an IRS agent walked up onto onto someone's property and so like, I need to see all the valuable things inside your house because I'm going to give you an audit of everything that you own, and they put up a shotgun and get off my property, they would just be like, okay, have a nice day, and they're going to walk away and they're going to call the authorities and have the authorities handle what they needed to do. They would go through the process of like local enforcement before going federal and all these types of things. Like I feel like there's a process that goes into all of this versus just kind of like, hey, you know what, no, you're gonna let me inside because I have a weapon, and you're like, I'm an IRS agent, I'm a federal being, like what the fuck are we talking about? These people have reached a new level beyond just like a federal agent. Now that they think that they are their own like fucking army of one.
The thing that astonishes me, but then also doesn't fucking surprise me at all with the way the left is that they for how long they were saying defund the police, defund this, blah blah blah, but then when it comes to what we were talking about with the FBI and and the Trump stuff, and now conservatives are talking about, getting rid of the FBI because of how corrupt it is, and Democrats are saying that that's bad. And it's like, isn't the FBI like a higher version of the cops? Like if defund the police is your thing, then wouldn't you be for that? And for two, like you guys are talking about defund the police, but then you want to fucking arm the IRS?
So I want to touch on that real quick, where you're talking about like whether they because they're for the FBI, but they hate the police. They are for federal government. Like here's the thing.
I mean, I get that. It's just
here's the difference. This is the big difference that a lot of people maybe don't understand. Maybe we should clarify for some viewers that might not fully understand that, like, we have the more conservative viewpoint, which is more like local and state, which is like more just kind of like, all right, local enforcement, state enforcement, things that pertain to you, versus federal, which is more of a liberal and also a democratic standpoint, where they want to actually push these topics that are more kind of like, hey, broad, like everybody needs to fall under the same umbrella. And that's not, it doesn't apply. It doesn't really work. Now, yes, there are some things that fall under an umbrella, which is why, like libertarianism isn't like a fully functional idea. Like, in my opinion, personal opinion, libertarianism isn't like a fully thought out idea, because you need to have some things that are absolutely like umbrellaed, but like then there are other things as well which pertain to like the area in which you live in. Like people who live in Montana don't think the same way or have the same values as people who live in New York. And a lot of it is because of like where they grew up, what is around them, like their scenarios and or their situations and everything like that. All those things pertain to like very specific things that like happen in their lives. So like New York has very like city centric kind of like living, a lot more higher density of population. So maybe they need more social programs that are like instilled there because there's so many people of different income levels and this and that. So they have more social programs versus out in Montana, far more rural. There's like higher income spots in Montana, but it's mostly people who live out there or moved out there because they have the money to be able to do that. So like otherwise it's more kind of like lower income and, spread out, so that's very different.
That's one thing that sucks too is, I don't know if it's just in California or if it's in every state, but in California, every city has to have a certain amount and a certain percentage of low income housing. So like if the population gets bigger, that they have to build more low income housing because they have to have a certain percentage of it. So like just like right like here where the city right below our city right now where my mom lives, like they're building low income housing like not even a mile away from her house because they have to. And it like to me, I'm just like I don't know, more low income housing that to me equals more crime. And like it sucks to say that and be honest, but like but when you look at facts, that's
the thing. Like statistics and facts don't lie, and they don't like care about your feelings. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care what race you are. They don't care about how old you are or where you came from or what your background is. The facts don't lie.
Yeah, and it just it kind of scares me a little bit because it's like it's it's my mom and my stepdad and my little sister. They all live. Right down, they're gonna be living right down the road from all that, and it's like great. How many times and the amount of times, like, because my stepdad goes out and he travels for business and stuff, and so my mom and my little sister, who are both, they're pretty naive and pretty, sheltered. I'll be completely honest; they're literally polar opposite of me, and seeing that and knowing that they're gonna be giving me a call, being like, "Hey, I heard something." Like, dude, one time. They called me at like 11:30, 12 at night, and we're like, the back door was popped open, and we just got home, and it's all dark in the house, and I'm scared. And I was like, all right, on my way. So I drive all the way over there. I get out, and I don't have a gun on me. I don't have nothing. I just walk in, and I'm like just searching around, but like I'm the only dude, and my stepdad was out of town, and so I walk around, and they had called the cops when I was on my way over there. they didn't tell me that. And so I'm like walking around trying to look stuff, and I see a light, the flashlight coming in through the front window. And I mean, I look the way I do. I got long hair, I got a beard, I got tattoos. I don't look not shady. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I pop open the window, and the cop comes up with his gun. I'm like, no, that's my mom and my sister. Like, I'm good.
Shit.
Yeah. And I was like, y'all almost got me shot. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, that's sketchy, man.
Yeah.
Note the name. Yeah.
Come on, man.
But yeah, no, I just think, I think there's a lot to be said about what a lot of anarcho-capitalists and libertarians say about taxation is theft. There's
the whole thing where like taxation is voluntary.
Well,
There's a whole thing behind that, which I don't really know if I fully am
no, it's not
behind.
voluntary.
It definitely doesn't. It doesn't feel voluntary, but like there's people that have explained it before where like they tried to make it out to be like, oh well, it's just a thing where like if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. I'm like, really? I don't think that's a thing. But
wait, hold on. There's someone that's running cover for someone that's trying to take your fucking money. That's weird.
Weird. Right?
Never heard about that, or never, thought that was gonna happen. No, but it's like I completely I agree with it to a point, but at the same time, I do agree that we all live in this country, so there should be some amount of something that because we all, as the fucking cliche of we all use roads, we all use these, certain things or whatever. I get that. I'm not opposed to a part of my money, but like a small percentage. Like I was talking about it, I think on one of the Twitter spaces, is like, dude, back in, the Boston Tea Party, throwing all that tea in the fucking ocean was based on taxes, on a 3% tax on tea. 3%. That's it. Like, so they went crazy about that. But then now, what are we up in the teens, 20s for some people?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like if you factor in all of the taxes that end up getting taken out of your paycheck at the end of the week,
like sales tax, state tax, all this fucking shit.
Everything gets taken out of your paycheck at the end of the week. If you work like a standard job making less than like 80K a year, if you're making like less than 80K, you're getting about 22% taken out of your paycheck.
Yeah.
And, or if not more now, it might be up to like 25%, which is still that it's insane. It's insane to think that much is being taken out. Yeah. But like we just kind of like accept it, like, okay, well, yeah, it's going to Social Security, it's going to this, it's going to that. It's like, well, we're also dealing with the fact that like the baby boomers are about to like, all start collecting on the Social Security. There's not going to be any Social Security like when it comes time for like our generation, me and you, like the millennials, like once we end up getting to like that age range. Like
I am an elder millennial.
Yeah, well, so am I. So if you follow the Ewoks line, I definitely think Ewoks are bullshit. So
yeah, not saying that they weren't an integral part of Return of the Jedi. I'm not saying that they
were stupid. But
they were a little annoying.
Yeah, it's basically what I would call like the Zennial line. The Zennial line is like the Jar Jar line. So
exactly.
Did you like Jar Jar? Oh, I thought it was a incredible part of the whole story. Like, no, shut the fuck up. You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Okay, see when coming from a Star Wars nerd, this guy, like I appreciate most of it. I even can appreciate the stupidity of Jar Jar to a point. Like, not saying that he was one of the best characters, but I can appreciate his role in
Misa Jar Jar Binks. I feel like I'm being racist with me going, Misa Jar Jar Binks. Misa think of this. How
dare you?
No, again, like there's, I swear that now in our society, nuance is not a fucking thing. Like we can't have nuanced opinions about anything because it's either left or right or black or white or fucking, you know what I mean? Like I don't like him as a character, but I appreciate his role in the story. He was just,
how could you say that?
Because I'm a Star Wars nerd, but like I can appreciate his bumbling, stupid fucking, you know what I mean? Like Fredo. You want to bring up, mobster shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fredo, I fucking can't stand that character, but I can appreciate his character in the story and how it moved the story along.
But that's different.
You know what I mean?
that's different because
Well, yeah,
I mean, like,
because you're a monster guy, I'm a Star Wars guy.
I understand that. I understand, but like also like like I love the original trilogy. I love the original trilogy of Star Wars, and I'm just saying that like even like when I was a little kid, like the Ewoks didn't bother me just because like it was like I don't know. I thought it was part of the story. It's just like it is what it is. Yeah. But like as I got older, I was like, this is pretty lame. This is true,
but then again, without them, they wouldn't have been able to take Endor.
Yeah, and then it would have just been something else. If it wasn't the Ewoks, it would have been something else. Are you saying that the Ewoks are the reason why the Empire fell?
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying
no. I'm saying that like, but by you like equating like this is like a 7 circles of Kevin Bacon. Like yeah,
guys, I'm gonna be holding this live stream together.
Yeah, you're holding it together, buddy. I'm telling you.
I'm kind of retarded.
Well, so seven degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Hey, you did it.
You're essentially kind of doing the same thing when it comes to like the Empire fell because the Ewoks existed.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that they were an integral part of the Battle of Endor. Not,
but you said they couldn't do it without them.
I didn't say that. I said
that did. I want to rewind this like about like 2 minutes.
I said, and if I did, fuck it, don't listen to that me 30 seconds ago. Okay, what? I talk shit, whatever. No, I think that they were an integral part of the Battle of Endor, and without what I did say, okay, I do remember what I said. I said without the Ewoks, the Battle of Endor wouldn't have gone the same way.
Disclaimer: Ian does not stand by anything that he says.
No.
On this stream, we just want to get that out there right away. I want to say that nothing that we say here we stand by any means.
Yeah,
it's all bullshit.
You're not equal endorsement. No, I mean it's. I can appreciate their part in the story. Was it a little lame? Yes. Were there certain parts of it where I'm like, fucking whatever, but. They were on this forest moon of Endor, and like being in the forest and then being able to run around and throw shit and do the thing, whatever. And like I thought it was fucking awesome, like the logs, how they come in and they fucking knock some of the things, like again, it's nuanced. Like
do you think they developed that, or do you think that like like Leia and like Luke said like, hey, you know what, take these logs, do this, and then cut the ropes? Because I mean, come on, they're fucking bears. They're bears. Do you think they were able to figure out like those types of traps?
Well, I mean, they obviously were a sentient species, and they obviously have empathy and
empathy. I mean, a fucking dog realizes when you're sad. Are you gonna say
what I'm saying is they have a certain capacity for more complex feelings, I guess. Like when one of them died. Like ran off and then ran back and was like, "Hey, what the fuck?" Like it was like a human-esque like emotion. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I'll agree with you. Where like they
shit, you agreed
for just on one part of it. One part.
You guys saw that. You saw it.
Yeah, everyone screenshot it.
Shawn likes the Ewoks now.
No, I don't like the Ewoks. Not, like when the one Ewok died and the other one comes down and goes, "Oh, Kuchikakabaka," and sits next to it and like realizes, "Oh, my friend's dead."
I think that was more racist than your Jar Jar impression.
Oh, Kuchikakabaka.
How dare you?
I'm kind of retarded.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that like I don't know, like yeah, they recognize that their friend was dead, but I was like, oh, I feel sad. Oh, wait a minute, they're fucking animals. Then I get over it again. So then I get over it all over again.
Well, yeah, and then but and then at the same time, if you're really thinking about it, I mean, it is Star Wars, it is in space, it is a different alien species, whatever, and it's a fake world. So I mean, yeah. I like the movies. I mean 7, 8, and 9 were horse shit for the most part, but then again, that's a nuanced opinion because there were some fucking characters that I liked in there. Like Kylo Ren was actually kind of a cool character. He just got treated wrong, and Rey was this like fucking OP, like amazing fucking character that just never had any fucking shit wrong besides like getting captured once. You know what I mean? Like she never like I was saying, I don't care. Like we were saying, like I was saying when I was writing that Hero and Me shit, like the storyline for that, and I was saying I was going based on like Lawrence Kasdan, the original, I think, screenplay or screenwriter of the original Star Wars, and he was saying how he writes Luke Skywalker writes heroes is basically like take your hero and put him up in a tree and throw rocks at him and figure out how to get him down, and that's how an audience will resonate with them or cheer for them, basically. And so like there's nothing that they did for Rey besides giving her like kind of a shitty backstory. But then, you know, in part 9 or episode 9, that whole backstory was fucking bullshit because she was just a Palpatine. And it's just like, was it cool to see Palpatine again? Fuck yeah, it was cool. But how they did it was bullshit. You know what I mean? It's basically like episode 9 was just fucking like, oh, well, we got to put in this fucking old dude who's an old character. We got to figure this out. And then let's just fucking, you know, fuck the last movie. Which
that's the one that I did not see. That's the one Star Wars I can honestly say I have not seen, which I've considered about like renting or just kind of like checking it out in general. I mean, I do have Disney, so like I have Disney Plus, so I could totally just watch it.
It's okay. You saw The Last Jedi, right?
That's the one where hold on, like, so let me just to confirm whether or not I've seen it or not. That's the one where Mark Hamill is destroying star destroyers, but he's not actually on the battlefield. He's like on a moon somewhere projecting himself on the planet.
Yeah, and then he dies.
He died?
Well, yeah, because he was fighting Kylo Ren, but he was projecting himself there, and then he did like the whole Matrix fucking, you know, thing, whatever, has his lightsaber, and then he disappears, but he's back on the other on the where the temple was, where he was, and then if you watch, he like fades away, almost kind of like Obi-Wan did when Vader killed him. He fades away, and then his
like
cloak,
a pile of clothes,
and then his cloak like floats away. That's him dying.
Oh,
so in Force Awakens, Episode 7, they kill off Han Solo.
Yes.
In Last Jedi, they kill off fucking Luke Skywalker. And then
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and then in Episode 9, because Carrie Fisher died. What do you think they're gonna do?
Spoiler alert.
Well, I mean, come on, she died in real life. It's not like, you know what I mean? There's only so many things. You can only do so many deep fakes until it's like, okay, dude, just kill her off. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
So, there's a scene in that one where I'm just like, oh my God, dude. But yeah, exactly. Like The Last Jedi, I thought that was a fucking dumpster fire, but there was a really cool scene in that where they do they fly into hyperspace through the big fucking ship. I thought that scene was done really well with the sound engineering and like all that. Again, nuanced.
Okay.
Overall, I think it was a fucking dumpster fire, and I've taken diarrhea shits better than The Last Jedi, but some cool shit.
Okay, fair enough. Now I have to ask you this question.
Okay.
How did we get to this from when we were talking about the IRS?
I was just about to ask that like 2 minutes ago.
No, I just because I was going to let you keep going. I'm like, all right, so like, you know, are we comparing this to the stormtroopers or anything? Like, what's the deal?
Well, because you brought it up with Ewoks.
Oh my goodness. Well, did I really?
Yeah, you said something about Ewoks, and then it took us down this whole rabbit hole.
I said the Ewok line. I said that there was an Ewok
millennials.
line.
That we were talking about millennials.
Oh my goodness, really? From millennials, we went down this rabbit hole of Star Wars.
Well, because we were talking about millennials and the different generations, millennials, and then because I said I'm an elder millennial, and then that triggered you, and
triggered.
But yeah, so like we were talking about that, and then and then you said, oh well, it's like the millennials and the zennials. It's just like the Ewok line. That's the, you know, how you see that whole generation thing.
I don't know. Well, the Ewok line comes from How I Met Your Mother.
Oh yeah, exactly. No, I mean, I know
You're
what
familiar with what the Ewok line is.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. But like, you brought up Star Wars, and then I'm a complete fucking Star Wars nerd. So like, if you expected that to not,
no, I do it every time just to get under your skin. Every time. That's really the point behind a lot of this.
well,
that's kind of why I started this podcast. I wanted to do this podcast with you just so I would have someone to annoy every few days.
Well, no, don't worry. I'll find your trigger point at some point.
You'll find my Achilles heel one day.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So the last
back to the IRS, or do you want to move on?
Well, I got a couple more things on this real quick. Is so the last point being, like, be willing and able to participate in arrest, execution, in search of warrants and other dangerous assignments. So again, just kind of like following up on being able to carry a firearm. Like, the whole idea of it feels very forced into like this law enforcement aspect of things versus what IRS has always been. IRS has always been pencil pushing, accounting. It's been these like just number crunching versus like, you know, like, someone who says they make like $40K a year but has $100,000 in like write-offs. Like, that doesn't make sense. You know, like those types of things catches like the IRS's attention. You know, like having, you know, a couple of $1,000s here or there has never triggered anything. But I'm thinking that moving forward from this point on, if they're hiring 87,000 new IRS agents, there is a very good likelihood of the fact that people might get audited for like $600 off in their IRS statements, like when they do like their income taxes and whatnot. Because, like, you know, if you write enough stuff off, typically you'll make your money back, like for what you spend and stuff like that. But the fact is that they're going to probably be looking into like every little aspect of this stuff, which is like, this is absolutely a leftist agenda type thing, because like, what does the left want to do? They want to get the tax money to be able to put into these social programs of like universal income, universal healthcare, universal education. They want to do all that type of stuff. But the problem with all that is that it affects the regular Joe, like me and you, just like the guys who are like out there just working a regular day job or just kind of like doing like podcasting or anything like this type of thing. And they're going to nitpick every little cent that you fucking make. And they're going to send agents with fucking guns out to like your home to try and like I don't know, like enforce these things.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It we'll have to kind of see how it unfolds and all that, but I'm not liking where it's going already. I think it's a little ridiculous.
And there's one other thing I want to share real quick, which I'm gonna see if I can share like an image
on the IRS stuff.
Oh, well, I want. Oh, yeah, on the IRS thing. I'll try and see if I can add this thing. I don't know how to do this though. I might have to do it as like an image or something like that.
Well, you're using a Mac, right?
Yeah, I'm using a Mac. I'm trying to drag and drop, but it won't let me do that. I have to like hit share, I think.
Either that or just open it up in a preview, like under preview. It's a picture, right? Open it up in preview and then share that window or that you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. Let me see here. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so I mean, like, unfortunately, the window is freaking weird. Oh, here we go. That's a little bit better.
And you got the potato quality version.
Potato quality, exactly. I grabbed this little tiny image off of the internet right before we started, but like, so like, this is just an example of like the entire of the stadium. This stadium is a capacity of 86,112. It is not big enough to hold the 87,000 new IRS agents coming after you, which to me is very interesting to think like, all right, yeah, all those little pixels down there, those are individual people. And
can we just like hire like the WNBA crowd amount of?
There's not enough. They don't have 87,000 fans.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Can we just hire like the average crowd that goes to an NBA game? I'm okay with that amount of new IRS employees, like that, a couple hundred. I'm fine.
Yeah, I could see that. A couple hundred makes sense to me, but like
Yeah, exactly.
the fact that it's 87,000, that to me feels like a big push. Like that should trigger people. Honestly, in all honesty, I'm telling you, Ian, like that net should be triggering people because that is an absurd. There's so many companies out there in the U.S. right now that 87,000 people employed by one company is just absurd. Like that's like Amazon levels of employment.
That triggers me about as much as this triggers you.
Oh God, popcorn!
Found it.
That is my one. It's my Achilles heel right there. Popcorn, fucking hell!
You found my only weakness, popcorn. Okay, so
Amazon employees. I want to find out how many Amazon employees are in the U.S. because I feel like this is important. Hold on a second.
sorry.
Oh, did you go away? You came back?
Yeah, I did. Sorry. Hello.
Okay, so this is important. I was looking up how many Amazon employees are employed in the U.S. There's 1,600,008. Let me start that again. 1,608,000 Amazon employees.
There you go.
Hey, buddy. Let's get through this together. All right.
Don't worry. I'll be hammered one time, and you'll be able to give me shit. It's fine.
It's all good. It's all good.
Come on, man.
I can handle it. But that number to me is important because it kind of gives you a little bit of perspective on the IRS because Amazon is everywhere.
Well, yeah, but how many employees are already employed by the IRS? Because these are 87,000 new employees, right?
Yeah. All right. So let's see here. How many IRS employees currently? 80,000. So they're going to over double.
Yeah.
There is about 80,000 employees currently working for the IRS. And that's coming from the Washington Post. So I don't know. It's a bunch of white girls drinking lattes, whether or not they're wearing Ugg boots, whether or not they know anything. I don't know. But
You are fake news.
they're saying 80,000.
Which means 160,000 new ones. Yeah, it's just it's absolutely ridiculous, and we already see what the federal government is doing. When it comes to political, being a political party's, police force, basically with the FBI, and then we're making the IRS, which we've already seen evidence that that the left has audited and investigated Republican and conservative people throughout.
They are very one-sided when it comes to this entire thing, which is to me like, why does not trigger anybody? For whatever reason, people on the left are so fucking tribal about this, where they don't think it's a problem that only one side is being investigated the entire time.
The only thing I have to say is they are very short-sighted because they think that it won't come back to them at any point.
Yeah, and actually, I don't know if it was Steven Crowder or who it was that said this, but it's interesting to see that, like, oh boy, you're in for it now, is the response from both sides when it came to the FBI raiding Mar-a-Lago. Mm-hmm. Like that's like, oh, you're in for it now, meaning like, so if you're on the left, that means like, oh, they're coming for Trump. That's it. Your leader is going to get arrested. That's it.
Yeah, because that worked so well with the other 7 years they've been trying to do that, right?
Exactly. Now, the other side of this is also the fact that if the right is saying, oh, you're in for it now, they're realizing the fact that, like, all right, yeah, the FBI was sicked on like Trump and nothing was discovered besides like a couple of letters.
Well, it would basically what it was is there were 15 boxes, which is so many boxes, and it was the National Archives because it was like classified information or whatever. But what I was reading is that Trump said that he declassified all the information that he had with him. So, and the fishy thing about it is that they're not releasing the warrant. They're not making the warrant public, which that warrants are public. You can look up what the warrant was for.
You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of Training Day. Do you remember the movie Training Day?
Yeah.
All right, so they go to the guy,
Great
the lady's house, and it's a Chinese food menu, and they're like, all right, warrant served, and then they just gotta throw it in the fucking door, and like it's like that's what that
Fucking
sounds like to
Dre.
me. Well, yeah, like let me see that warrant. And it's like, yeah, well, all right, man, we have to leave now. We have to go.
Yeah.
Like, no. Let me see that warrant. Let me get eyes on that. And it's like, it's another realizing that it's like, oh wait, maybe this was kind of like, you know, short-sighted for sure when it came to this whole thing. And it's discrediting the FBI, which to me, I'm kind of torn about the whole thing, because I absolutely believe that we should have a federal bureau of investigation. We should have federal, we should think about that. Think about the fact that we should have some form of federal investigation bureau that is doing things that is above the local level, because sometimes things cross it's interstate. You know, when things happen interstate, that needs to go federal, you know, and like when things happen on a federal crime level, there's a reasoning behind those types of things.
I can understand that to a point. Again, with the nuance thing, I can understand it to a point, but the point that it has gotten is it needs to be eliminated and brought back from the ground up. And the reason why
it needs to be rebranded, it needs to be brought back to like ground zero. It needs to be like you're saying. I think what you're getting at is the fact that they need to like eliminate like the current system that they have for
all of it,
right? Yeah,
like every single person that works for the FBI needs to be fired and then reassessed to be hired again. I'm not saying that every FBI agent is some corrupt fucking shithole. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying obviously, you know, just like you say, there's good and bad people in every race and every gender, or both the genders. Absolutely. And you know there are good and bad cops. They're good, you know, whatever. I'm not saying putting the
Your mic died. Well, I get where Ian's coming from with some of this stuff, and this is like Ian's like, I'm sad, I have to leave for a minute so he can like go and fix his microphone. But I understand where he's coming from with some of that stuff, and I just want to add the fact that, all right, yes, like we should be like rebuilding the FBI when it comes to those types of things. But if we are going to rebuild the FBI because we don't agree with some of the standing points, then we should also be considering about rebuilding like local law enforcement and things like that, where there are issues inside like the law, like the policing. And when we're like, you know, so there's always the issues of whether or not, oh, this group is like very racist or this or that, blah blah blah. There's always fucking issues that come up when it comes to these local enforcements on top of federal enforcements. And say, all right, so are we going to go and rebuild every little thing that happens with the different types of law enforcement? Oh, here comes Ian back. Are you back now? Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was just bringing up the fact that, like, all right, so if you're talking about rebuilding federal law enforcement, then there's also going to be a need for bringing up the fact that, like, you know, certain areas of local law enforcement needs to be rebuilt as well, because of the fact that, like, because there's certain areas where like there is corruption that exists in like small towns and whatnot. So like if we're going to get rid of corruption, we have to get rid of corruption on multiple levels, not just like the big umbrella, but also in the small little sects as well.
To me, I think it's the opposite of what people should pay attention to politically. You know, a lot of people say, you know, vote in your local elections, pay attention to your local politics and all that first, and then it moves up. I think when it comes to law enforcement, it needs to move the opposite way. I think it needs to start from the top, the bigger agencies, and those need to be revamped. And then with what is done to those bigger agencies, I think that needs to be implemented at a local level, because for the most part, I think local cops and local and all that are a lot less corrupt. And I'm not saying that they aren't. Again, nuanced. Like I'm not saying that
Absolutely. No, I
very
agree. I agree with you on that one. Like, where there is a lot of nuance to this entire conversation.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. Like, and I think, and I, anyone that's listening right now, like, know that we are biased to our opinions. Obviously, every single person is fucking biased. It doesn't matter who you are. Everyone has their opinions and their ideals and their beliefs, and so they're going to be biased towards those before they make a decision on something. But at the same time, we're both intelligent enough people, kind of, to understand that. I guess I'm speaking for me.
Oh, that hurt. Now I'm a little triggered,
because
I'm kind of retarded.
I think that hey, I admitted it a little bit.
We've had our moments.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone has their moments, but again, like, I think that we're intelligent enough people to know that every issue is nuanced, and you can come at it from either side, but you can also come at it from, like, okay, even with my beliefs, I can understand where this person's coming from, where this idea is coming from. I think,
honestly, the most intelligent conversation comes from the fact that you can, like, see the other side's argument.
Yeah. And I think that's a big thing that's missing in society. Like, I think that the FBI does a good job on certain issues? Yes. On manhunts and all this, yes, exactly. But Ruby Ridge, fucking Waco, Texas, fucking the Trump stuff, Roger Stone, Rudy Giuliani, like all these things, and then not releasing the Epstein client list, and then not doing anything about Eric Swalwell, fucking Chinese spies, fucking, like, not doing anything about Cuomo killing old people, not doing anything about Gretchen Whitmer killing old people, like all these things that they're not doing anything about. Or the what's the fucking the guy, Larry Nassar, the guy who was fucking all those Olympic women athletes. Yeah. Like, there's so many things. And obviously the FBI has done, does so many things behind the scenes, or, like little things that we don't, see. It's not national news, obviously I get that. But at the same time, and we as humans, we are more apt to look at negatives. It's just human nature. You're going to look at a negative, and, like, it's kind of like one of those things. Like, if you go to a really good restaurant, you're probably going to tell, like, one or two people. But if you have a bad experience at a restaurant, a negative experience, you found a hair somewhere, you found this, someone, you saw, like that McDonald's video that we saw where the woman is fucking digging in her ass,
yeah.
You're going to tell 10 to 15 people. It's just, kind of one of those, it's just one of those weird, natural laws of just human nature. And so I can understand that we're going to look at the negative first, but at the same time, we, sometimes looking at that negative is necessary to redoing shit.
I can agree with all that. Yeah, it's just one of those things where we have to acknowledge the things that are wrong with our society and stuff like that, and just kind of like move forward from that. Yeah.
Speaking of moving forward, and we were just talking about Crowder, a couple minutes ago. Here is a video. So I don't know how often you watch Crowder, but sometimes they have
pretty regularly. Honestly, I'm one of the guys where it's like, I try to catch them like Monday through Thursday, but like the fact is that, like, I'm catching up on, like, because I'm a censor.tv guy, so like for me, like I follow a lot of Gavin stuff, and like and there's tons. They have so many people on that network. I try to follow like as many as I can. Yeah. But like whenever I have downtime, I'm following Crowder as well. So like a couple of times a week at least.
The reason why I follow Crowder is because I follow, like, I like stand-up comedy, and I like comedians, and I like that's just kind of the way my mind works first. Like, if you can make something funny, I'll probably listen to you a little bit more. Like we were talking about Patrice sure. O'Neill. He was definitely more left, and or Andrew Schultz. He was, he's definitely more left or whatever, but they do it in a joking way.
Well, Dave Landau makes that show like gold. Like, if it wasn't for Dave Landau, like, I don't think Crowder would be nearly as popular.
Well, no, I mean, before because Landau's only been there for about a year. And before that, he was doing fine. He had like 4 million subscribers.
I'm not taking anything away from Crowder. Crowder's hilarious and whatnot. But I'm just saying, like, for his whole like whack pack of like people that end up talking like with him, I would say that Dave Landau brings the most like entertainment to like the conversation.
He brings the most, and I think what it did is because Crowder was he was a stand-up comedian at first, and then he joined Fox News, and he did and then he started his own thing. So like he comes from that comedy, and the reason why I kind of like him, what I was kind of saying is I like the old late night shows. Like I like Letterman and Leno, and fucking Conan is fucking amazing. The amount of times that I sing that the year 2000 in my head, just fucking randomly, stupid. The Triumph, the insult comic dog for me to poop on.
Man.
Dude,
I love that.
The amount of times that I'm in my fucking house and my wife says something and I'm like, yeah, for me to poop on. It's stupid and it's annoying. But anyways, like, so I like the late night type thing and whatever. And that's kind of what Crowder was doing a while ago. He was like doing more of a late night show, but then he figured, I'm just going to move it. He did Good Morning Mug Club. Is what he started doing. So he for a couple of weeks, he would do like just the Good Morning, like the morning show, and then do like an hour later. But he was like, we're seeing more traction and more people watching in the morning. So we're just going to do it like a morning late night show, So like,
yeah, that's what it is.
And so that's kind of why I follow that. And so I think with Landau coming into the show, cause he guest spotted, cause he used to be on the Cumia show.
Yep.
So he guest spotted here and there. Because I guess Crowder and Cumia are buddies over the years, and
I think they were all affiliated with Blaze at one point. Besides Cumia, I think he was just doing his own thing, and then he went and formed his own thing, like Compound Media and whatnot. So it all separated, but it's like people that followed the Opie and Anthony show, and like it's all bastardized versions. Everyone's kind of like intermingled. Yeah, and so I think that having Landau on, guesting, here and there, and being more of a regular guest than a lot of because they used to have the Hodge twins on there a lot, which the Hodge twins they still do
hilarious, dude.
Yeah, they're
so great. But I think with having him on there, you could see every time that that Landau was on Crowder, that you could see Crowder like the twinkle in his eye, and you could see he was like, oh, cool comedian, like I can fucking, you know what I mean, like we can bounce jokes off of each other. And then I think that's what got the wheels turning. Mm-hmm. But the reason why I was saying, was asking how much you watch it is because whenever Crowder is taking a day off or whatever, they have Louder with Crowder with Dave. So It's Dave who hosts the show. And those shows are wacky and fucking off the wall. And the amount of hilarious jokes. Like I love them. Like I love those episodes. I think within 20 minutes of this last episode, I think it was on Tuesday or Wednesday. It's a clip that I'm going to show you here in a second. Within 20 minutes, they had a clip of Gerald A or Gerald B or whatever. Gerald A. A clip of him, a soundbite of him saying, "I love dongs," or something like that. And so they just played it, and everyone's like, "Dude, I heard his voice, but I couldn't hear his lips move, like see his lips moving. Like, what the fuck?" And then they were just talking about dongs for like 5 minutes. You know what I mean? It's what we aspire to be. Absolutely. I would love to have a whack pack. Yeah, exactly. I'm good with it. Okay, so let's see. All right, so I'm gonna share this real quick. And this is Landau talking about the whole situation with Crowder. So let me see. And I don't think Crowder's going to come after us for copyright. I don't think so either. Yeah, I think we're good. So here we go.
Everything that he said, to be clear, Stephen was never calling for violence. If you don't believe me, just take a look at exactly what he said yesterday.
This is so wrong.
Real quick, to put into context before we get into what he's talking about. So what he did is he put up tomorrow is war. Tomorrow is war. Sleep well. Yeah. Didn't say I'm going to attack things. Didn't say anything like that. No, it was pertaining to the fact that like Mar-a-Lago was raided by the FBI, I believe, right? Exactly. So I mean, you can take that so many different ways, but since the left doesn't understand context or sarcasm or intent or anything like that, they just see words on a fucking thing. But then at the same time, you can take a stand-up comedy special and you can write it out in text, and it's fucking horrible. Like, oh, absolutely. If you read out any of Louis, Chappelle, Patrice, Andrew Shaw, any of these fucking comedians.
You're talking about the edgiest of comics, but yeah, absolutely. Like those are the edgiest comics that, like, you know, they just offend everybody.
Yeah, I mean, you know, but if you write all of that out, it's absolutely horrible. If you have no inflection in the voice, if you have no, you know, context of what was said before, whatever, yeah, it's going to sound horrible. So, okay, with that, just want to make sure that everyone knows what we're talking about.
We're all on board.
Tyrannical. There needs to be a hill that you're willing to die on. This is it. Now, I don't mean literally. I'm not calling you to violence, unlike what's being implied on Twitter, Eric Swalwell with a fight like hell, banging Chinese spies. Today is a day that we all have the right to be pissed off, to yell, to scream, to behave not as egregiously as the left. But it's time to fight fire a little bit with fire. And today we're also going to get into, I was really spending all night, and I didn't sleep much, thinking about what is it that I can do? What is it that we can do here where we can offer you quantifiable steps that you can take? And some of those are going to have to be addressed on Mug Club, not on YouTube. Not because it's a call for violence, not because it's a call for a physical civil war, but because I don't know the rule book and I know that they're on high alert over there at YouTube. Claim to be carrying our mantle, Republicans, conservatives. They need to fear you. Not saying violence. I'm saying they need to fear you, going on a campaign to remove any and all of the power they so desperately desire.
Like, I don't see how that's, I mean, if you don't like him, yeah, you can, you know, take anything. You can take anything a certain way. I can, you know, again, nuanced. I can see how someone who doesn't like him would take that. I get that. But at the same time, if you really look at it, he literally is saying, I'm not calling for violence. He's literally saying these words, and the disingenuousness of them, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. And like, when I'm watching that, it's like, I'm trying to like see where he's coming from and what he's talking about. Yeah. And I know exactly what he's talking about when it comes to Mar-a-Lago and whatnot. And like the fact that like the FBI now is a tool to be used by whoever is in power. And like they're trying to say like, oh, well, you know, this is something to fear. And like, they're not saying like, all right, we're going to be able to use the FBI against you now. Like, they're not trying to say that. And like, when it comes to like the right taking power again, because the fact is that, you know, if like we continue down this terrible path that it's like fixed elections and, you know, like, in Wyoming, there is apparently a ballot van that's going around where in the ballot van, it drives to homes to allow you to vote.
Did you see about the Project Veritas shit they're talking about in Alaska that just came out?
Yes, I just saw it. Now, what I'm bringing up, I'm bringing up that Wyoming van thing because, like, all right, so like before, like, what was Dinesh D'Souza's big point with the 2,000 Mules? There was fixed locations where there were ballot drop-off boxes, and they were able to track cell phone locations of like who went and did what and at what time. Like, you know, in the video they could see like someone dropping off multiple ballots.
They would follow that ping from here to here, and
follow the ping. It went here to there to there to there to there, and like, so they dropped off like 20, 30 some odd like ballots in one night. So like that alone should like make you question the whole fucking thing. But if the ballot box is moving the whole time, you can't track the geolocation of like cell phones of where things are being able to
me, it's just so ridiculous. It's like, okay, dude, so obviously, again, thinking completely unbiasedly, thinking about just the concept of what they're doing, like, that's kind of genius that you came up with that ridiculously corrupted plan, right? So instead of
ingeniously corrupted plan, absolutely. But when I saw that, like the rest of like people on the right, we saw that and we're like, oh my God, they beat the system of geo-tracking.
But what I'm saying is, so if they have the mental capacity and the ability to I'm retarded right now, the ability to engineer it to
I'm kind of retarded.
I was waiting for that to engineer that system, that corrupt system that they're trying to do. Why not just put that into trying to get people to vote for you the right way?
Right?
Like,
why
if you're
is that
that
so
fucking
hard?
smart.
Why is that so hard and so foreign to think about? Like, just like having people vote the right way.
Well,
Go
because
out.
you're talking about the fucking side that was the Ku Klux Klan and that fucking hated civil rights and that, you know, and all this shit. But evidently that's fucking conservatives, right?
Oh, how could you say that?
Because it's true. Sorry, I had to do my best.
How dare you?
I had to do my best Biden impression. That's true.
Come on, man.
Yeah, you get 3 of them because of that.
True, not a shower of pressure.
America can be summed up into one word.
Dude, I'm sorry, but like, again, being nuanced, like, he is a fucking shitbag person, but since he's an old person and I have some sort of compassion, I feel a little bit bad for him, dude. Like, he can't put a jacket on without
I've had this.
and dropping his glasses.
I've literally had this conversation multiple times with people where it's like, all right, so like Biden is a fun old man. Like, he is that guy where it's like, if he was out at your bar or like just like hanging out with you, like it would be like, he's fun. He's like a cute old man. He's harmless. He can't do anything wrong, but like, he's got these people around him that like are his handlers, and those are the ones that are all influencing. They're creating the influence of the speeches and like telling you need to say this, you need to do this.
I agree with you to a point, but he's been in politics for 50 years, so I think.
And now he's a harmless old man. He was not always the harmless old man. Like in the 90s, he was a douchebag because
that's what
he had the 94 Crime Act.
Okay, and again, even bringing that up, which I know this fucking statement is going to be probably, not, triggering, but some of that wasn't wrong. Like, some people that are drug dealers, they should go to fucking prison.
Yeah.
So some of that was fucking great, but the
I'm not going to give you the how could you say that? Yeah,
exactly.
Come on, get your point out.
I already feel bad enough about
Here it comes. Come on, you got to pull it out. Pull your point out,
sir. I do not pull out.
I know.
Rim shot.
I'm just, I'm just channeling my inner, Biden when he talks about kids.
Come on, man. I just sniff him.
Oh, okay. He was signing that bill about, I forgot exactly what bill it was, but he was signing it and giving the pens to kids, like whenever they were doing it. And dude, if you see that little girl's face, she's all,
ew.
No, like as he's like trying to hand the pen to, you could see her face like, why the fuck did my mom fucking bring me this? It just smells like fucking mothballs and fucking old like, what the fuck? Yeah, exactly. He just like wipes it on her face and then smells it. Like, bro, you can't do that on fucking TV.
Come on, man.
Good God. All right. So, yeah.
Are we good on the Biden?
Yeah, I'm
Biden now.
I can't talk about it anymore. But anyways, like, I think Crowder, since he does things in comedy and since he does things in jest and is outlandish like that, I think that like, if you look at the thumbnail for today, I used the change my mind template and I said no one has a sense of humor anymore. Change my mind like that, because no one can understand comedy and this and certain context and whatever. And not saying that what he was saying was exactly comedy, but it wasn't a fucking threat.
No, what he was going for was more just like a statement of like I don't want to say call to action, but just like a call of awareness. Let's call it to that. Like a call of awareness where he's like, hey, everybody, pay attention to what's happening around you right now. Because
don't do what the left is doing.
You're not paying attention. The fact is that like if you oppose this thought process, you're not paying attention close enough.
Yeah.
Like this is what's happening around us. And like, yeah, they invaded Mar-a-Lago and they went and they raided it, if you will. And like they call it a raid. It's an FBI raid. Like, that's the official statement. And just going through and just kind of like pulling 15 boxes. Okay, you pulled 15 boxes. Well, what did you get out of those 15 boxes? If everything's been declassified, like which the Clintons have done the exact same thing, if not worse. Same thing with the Obamas. They did the exact same thing. What's different? What's the one thing that's like, you know, pushed everybody over the edge?
See,
well, the fact that he's Republican, the fact that he's a Republican representative, and he is the leader of the movement that has pushed people to become more patriotic and push people to become more in tune with what's going on in their own government. I think holy fuck, that's not a bad thing. That's something that needs to be encouraged.
Well, I think what it's done is is just like how Libs of TikTok has done by just showing what they do. He is just pointed out the bullshit and the hypocrisy and the unpatriotic nature that is the left. He basically what he's done. I saw a video on my Facebook feed that was like from a couple years ago. It was like, you know, you get the memories every day or whatever, and it was a video that of this guy sitting in front of his house, and he said, hey, I got this note on my door today, and he went and he got the note, and it said, how can you have that symbol of hate hanging up in front of your house? And then he points his camera, and it's the fucking American flag. Exactly, dude. Like he was like, that's never coming down. Like, go fuck yourself. Like if you think, I hate to use that fucking trope and that that cliche of like, well, then leave. Like, if you think that it's so oppressive here, go try it somewhere else, please, and tell me how it is. Like, I'm not worldly. I'm not, like, I don't travel in the other parts of the world, but I have a common sense in my head enough to know that it's better here than it is anywhere else.
Oh, without a doubt. And the fact is that anybody who comes here from another country understands that as well. They come here with the understanding that like they left something worse to come here for something better. And the fact is that people that are born here typically take that for advantage, and they don't understand. What's that?
America.
Yeah, they don't seem to understand the fact that, like, we live in a country here where like people who are immigrants are coming here for advantages that don't exist in their current country. So like, the people who are born here just kind of like, oh, well, of course, obviously you can do this. And oh my God, I can't believe the immigrants get these types of benefits and this and that. Blah, blah, blah. Of course, they're going to come here and they're going to want to do these types of things. They're going to want to open businesses and this and that, because it's so much easier and better here than it is there. And like, for you to want to go, like, I love socialism. I love the fact that you can go and do this and everything's available to you. Oh yeah, you really like that? Hey, yeah. Ask Brittany Griner how much she likes socialism. Ask her right now how much she likes that shit, because I guarantee you 110% the fact that she will tell you, do not leave the US, don't go anywhere else because everywhere else is complete shit. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like these third world countries, they might have some nice resorts and they might have some nice hotels and this and that for tourism and this and that. Like, you might be able to go to other countries and have a great time. I'm not discouraging the fact that you can travel the world and experience other cultures. Absolutely. Go and do that type of thing. And make it a humbling experience for you as well, to realize, hey, you know what? I have it really good where I'm at, because you know what, like one of the experiences I had was like I went to the Virgin Islands, which is actually part of the US, and that was so fucking shitty. It was so much garbage. It was such a terrible fucking place to be at. I was like, damn, this is part of the US. And this is a vacation spot, because they would bring you on a bus from like point A to point B to point C, and then back to the cruise like liner, and like you're back on the boat, and you're away you go. But on the bus, you would look around like, wow, this is completely impoverished. Like the entire area, there's like 3-legged dogs everywhere. Like it's just like everyone's just drunk on the side of the street. It's like it's complete shit.
Well, maybe because in socialism, in communism, in all these types of political, ideals and systems, the people at the top, the elites, are the ones with money, and they make the power, and anyone underneath them has to suffer. That's the way it is.
For sure.
That's why I like capitalism.
America.
Okay, so real quick, speaking of we've kind of touched on the Trump raid like a little bit, and then we'll get on to the FBI, building getting attacked. Maybe, I don't know, like it's kind of still kind of coming around. So I know it's in our title, but whatever. So there's a video that I saw on TikTok of this chick kind of pointing some stuff out about the Trump raid, which I kind of like. Let me see real quick.
Okay.
Let me see.
This just gets better and better. Do you guys remember this? Back on March 24th of this year. Here's the court docket. You can access it in my link tree. And here's the first page of that case and who he was suing.
Okay, real quick, let's see. So it says
zoom in.
Hillary Clinton, the DNC, Michael Sussman, Mark Elias, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Charles Halliday Dolan, Jake Sullivan, John Podesta, Robert E. Mook. That sounds racist. Philippe Renee's Fusion GPS, Glenn Simpson, Peter Fritsch, Nellie Orr, Bruce Orr, Christopher Steele, Igor Danchenko, which that was a big whole thing in the beginning of Trump's presidency with all that stuff with the Russiagate stuff. James Comey, Rodney Jaffe, Peter Sturzak, I'm probably saying that wrong, Lisa Page, Kevin Kleinsmith, Andrew McCabe, and John Doe's 1 through 10. So he's like, the lawsuit was against all these people with the Russiagate stuff, right? I just had to read that because it's probably a little fucking tricky on there. So.
Okay, I can't really read it. Yeah,
exactly.
So on April 6th, the original judge recused himself and was replaced by none other than...
So that's McCabe. And I think McCabe, McCabe was on the warrant, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was.
So Judge Reinhardt was on this case all the way from April 6th till June 22nd, making decisions on motions and everything else on this case until he recused himself.
Okay, so he recuses himself.
And here's the document from the court docket proving that he recused himself on June 22nd. And here's why a judge would be disqualified or recuse themselves.
So there's a personal bias or prejudice concerning the party.
And just so you know, this case is still ongoing. The latest entry in it was actually yesterday, August 8th. But what's funny is...
She's a little dramatic, but...
On August 4th... Trump submitted a motion to deny the request for the dismissal of this case. And lo and behold, the very next day, the ex-judge on this case, Judge Reinhardt, issues a search warrant for a raid at his home.
It's a little extra, right?
It is a bit much. Yeah.
You see here, right?
Like, he shouldn't have the authority to be able to do so, considering the fact that he's being sued.
And he recused himself because of conflict of interest.
Yeah, 100%. That's the whole point. The whole point is the fact that he recused himself, so therefore he shouldn't be able to. Did I say that right?
You know, eventually.
Recused himself of like
You
being
said
able
rural earlier, and I wanted to point it out. That word is fucking hard. Okay,
rural.
It's such a hard fucking word.
I don't. It might just be different for like different time zones.
I'm kind of retarded.
I say rural.
Well, yeah, it's rural because it's rural. So it's a hard fucking word to say, no matter where you're from.
No. I'm on the East Coast. We say rural.
Is it what ROAL? Roll?
Rural.
Yeah. It's rural. So it's ROAL.
You said it the same way. You said it the exact same way.
Rural. It's rural. Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, that's just the way people say shit weird. Like my wife.
Wait, are you saying that I'm saying it kind of retarded, or are you saying that like you're saying it kind of retarded?
I'm saying that you, sir,
I'm kind of retarded.
No.
Okay, how do you say ruined?
Ruined.
Okay. My wife says ruined.
Well, she's kind of
I'm kind of retarded.
No, believe me, I give
How dare you?
I give
nothing.
Damn it. No, I say I give her shit for that all the time. It's
ruined.
She's ruined. So I'm like,
was she in like Zelda or something like that? You get like runes?
I don't know. It makes me laugh very hard. But yeah, no, I had to ask so I can show her this later, and then I'll have to sleep on the couch.
That's fine.
You're like, I don't care. All right. So all right, you want to talk about the FBI getting attacked thing?
Sure. Actually, you know what? Why don't you do that real quick? I'm gonna go take a piss.
Okay. I feel so alone. So according to the Daily Mail, let's share this screen real quick so I can feel like I'm, not alone. All right. So the Daily Mail, as yesterday, I believe, posted this, said, if you don't hear from me, I tried attacking the FBI. I didn't do this. This is what the dude said. Okay. That's not me. I'm not saying this here. You know what? You just read it on the screen. And so this right here is what he said. I don't want to get clipped. So, an armed man shot dead after targeting the FBI Ohio office, warned of attack just hours before on Trump's Truth Social, told supporters to unalive the feds after Mar-a-Lago search, and attended the January 6th protest. So, according to this, I don't know how accurate this is, or or whatnot, or if they've investigated fully. Obviously, we'll wait until everything else comes out to make a definite conclusion on this. But it says Ricky Schiffer, 42, was unalived by police after attempting to breach the FBI's Cincinnati field office on Thursday. After his failed attack on the office, Schiffer fled the scene, prompting a chase and 5-hour-long standoff. Schiffer foreshadowed the attack in a series of posts penned Tuesday on Donald Trump's Truth Social website. He said he was proposing a war and called on his followers to be ready for combat and blank the FBI on site. That's what he said. Again, if you want to read it, it's right here. I don't want to get clipped. So that right there is what he said on Truth Social. Schiffer attended the J6 Capitol protest and had ties to extremist groups, including the Proud Boys. We've had this discussion on here before about the Proud Boys. We don't need to get into that because that's another 20 minutes of shit that we will talk about. So I ridiculous. Police unalived an armed man who attempted to breach the FBI's Ohio field office in an attack he boasted about on Truth Social, former President Donald Trump's social media platform, just hours beforehand. Ricky Walter Schiffer, it's always good when they have three names, right? Throughout history, the people, those have always been, great.
Upstanding citizens.
Yeah, not related to the CIA or government at all.
Or assassinations by any means.
Yeah, never Lee Harvey Oswald. 42, or
What?
they were a patsy, right?
What?
I mean, that's literally what he said on camera. Said I'm just a patsy. Anyways, he totally was he was a lone gunman. That's what happened. So Ricky Walter Schiffer, 42, first warned on the site Tuesday that he was proposing a war in response to FBI's Monday raid of Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. Schiffer called on his followers to be ready for combat. And again, I'm not going to read it because I don't want to get clipped, but there we go. Right there. That's what he said. He escalated his threats by Thursday, writing that morning, if you don't hear from me, it is true. I tried attacking the FBI, and it'll mean either I was taken off the internet, the FBI got me, or they sent the regular cops, while. That doesn't make sense.
Ohio police confirmed. Yeah, it was.
I'm just saying this sentence. Either he is R-worded and he doesn't know how to speak, or they need a copy editor at the Daily Mail. Ohio police confirmed he was unalived later in the day. So I guess
unalived.
De-alived, unalived.
Yeah, unalived.
Forever sleeped, whatever. Let me see. So he was sporting body armor and an assault rifle, attempting to break into agency Cincinnati field office, prompting a 5-hour standoff with authorities. He fled the office and was chased onto the highway before abandoning his car by a cornfield on a country road just off Interstate 71. Okay, I'm sorry. Side note, every time I hear cornfield, I just think of Half Baked, where Harlan Williams says, "You ever run backwards naked through a cornfield?" I can't. Just that one word.
It always makes me think of Children of the Corn, but I understand where you're coming from as well.
Yeah, as a stoner.
I get it.
My fucking movie. But okay, so basically, like what I was saying while you were gone is the amount of times that shit has been covered up, or whatever, the bricks during the George Floyd riots, the
weird shit like that, just like strange pallets of like bricks and like boards and stuff like that would show up, and like people would be like, "Oh, hey, look at all this stuff that we can use now to like cause vandalism." Hey, yeah, maybe that isn't like what we should be doing, but they do it anyway because it's available to them.
Yeah, it's just it's one of those things where it's like since there have been so many things throughout our history of government doing things and whatever, like MK Ultra stuff and whatever. Oh, by the way, speaking of that, me and Jen are finally into season 2 of Stranger Things.
Woohoo,
dude! That show is fucking amazing.
So season 1 was so good.
Yeah, the whole time we were just like.
Literally, so I can tell you, like from personal experience, that like,
I swear if you spoil anything,
no, I won't spoil anything because this is all pertain to like, season 1. Like when Jess and I were like, my wife and I, we were going on vacation. We didn't have any kids at the time and stuff like that. We went down to like Cape May for a week, and we went down to like Ocean City, Maryland for a little bit, and then we drove back home and whatnot. The day we got back home, I guess that was the day that like Stranger Things came out, and we're like, "Oh, this kind of looks cool." We had not done any research on it or nothing. We just kind of like, let's just check it out. And we loved like the 80s kind of like Goosebumps vibe to the whole thing.
Yeah.
And like so then we're watching that, and like that
we're all 80s babies, so like that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So it just brought us right back.
I was never in D&D, but 80s like arcades and games and like all that.
Yes, stuff. The arcades, and I would even say like for me, like I'd never got into D&D as a kid, but like I am more into D&D now as an adult because I love like the full spectrum of where the game could go.
I'm kind of retarded.
Nah, I wouldn't agree with that. No, I'm saying that like the fact that like the game itself doesn't have limitations to where other games typically do. So like I feel like that is a cool aspect of the game. Have I played like the full on real D&D? No, I have not. But like I would say it's still a cool concept for a fucking game.
I haven't learned about it enough to where, because it's so nerdy. Like I'm a nerd to a point.
So I've played the Wrath of Azeroth one, which is like a or something like something
Harry
like,
Potter shit, or like what?
No, it's kind of like the cool part about it is that like, all right, so it's like a tiled board game, which is like, all right, so you start off in one tile, and then like as you explore the dungeon, it like you pull a new tile which is blank from like the deck, and like you place it on the board, and now that is the new like addition to like the board that you didn't see before. So maybe there's a turn, maybe it's a hallway, maybe it's a room, you don't fucking know. And then in that room spawns like monsters or like whatever else is inside that fucking room. So like I find that kind of cool because I love board games. Like honestly, that's kind of like one of my things. Like I love playing board games, and you know, that was one of the ones I picked up just at a whim. I was like, hey, you know what? Let's just try this. Let's just see what it's all about.
So what you're saying is that when you know it's a slow news day or news week and we have no topics, then we're just gonna play an online board game together.
Dude, yes, dude, I would do that in a fucking heartbeat. And like, hey, if more people want to see that, comment that you would love to see the fact that you want to see us play an online board game, because I would absolutely do that in a fucking heartbeat.
Yes.
Now, no, I'm just kind of bringing up the fact that like there was a lot of like possibility in that. Where were we going with all this?
So you were talking about how you and your wife, after your vacation, you came back and didn't.
Yes. Okay. All right. So talking about Stranger Things. Yes. So like talking about Stranger Things, like it just sucked us into like our whole like childhood and whatnot, and we watched the entire season from like episode 1 all the way to the finale in one sitting. And like we fucking loved it, dude. Like it was fucking cool as shit. Like we're like, wow, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
just sitting down and like
season is great, dude.
Yeah, the first season really was so good. And
that's one thing that my wife was saying. Jen was saying like it's hard. Like there aren't any characters that I don't like that, and that's hard to find in a TV show nowadays. Like there's at least one character that like is annoying or you don't like or this or that. But like in that first season, all of the characters are awesome. Like there's not one character that you don't like. I mean, obviously there's bad guys and whatever, but like there's not an annoying character.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's a really important aspect of it, because like, you know, later on in seasons of shows, you typically find like characters that you don't like, or just the producers decide that's going to be the villain this episode, you know, or this season, like this is the guy you're not going to like, or the girl you're not going to like.
Yeah.
And like, that's the kind of thing where I'm like, you know, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
And because I feel like it's very forced, and you can always tell when it's being very forced as well.
Oh, yeah.
You can always tell when a show wants you to feel a certain way. Like I'm trying to think.
By the way, this weekend we're binging as much of it as we can, because we're on, I think we're about to be on episode 3 of season 2. So tonight and tomorrow and Sunday, that's what we're doing. We're literally going to get pizza tomorrow, because tomorrow's our fucking cheat day. So we're going to get pizza tomorrow and just fucking watch Stranger Things.
Good for you.
I'm excited. I think my favorite character though is the fucking is the chunky kid with with no teeth.
Oh yeah, what the fuck is that kid's name? But he's he was on a bunch of stuff since then. Like now he's like a big deal because of Stranger Things.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know, like kid shows. One thing I was once we get through more Stranger Things, me and you can have like a talk about it or whatever, and we'll probably talk about it as a review on Till Death also. But one of the things is like which child actor out of those actors and actresses are gonna be like the Britney Spears of the show or the Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen of the show? You know what I mean? Like the crazy batshit Corey Feldman.
I kind of have a feeling it might be one of the guys, to be honest.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like, so for example, like 11, I feel like is a very mature girl.
Yeah, but she said she's already gone through some crazy shit outside of the show, like in her real life. Like people have stalked her, people have done some shit.
Yeah, but I'm saying that, like, all right, besides that, I'm saying like after fame, like, all right, so 11, no, that's not gonna happen. The Will kid, like that has like the bowl cut, I doubt it. He's kind of
sorry, that's the penis haircut, like that.
Yeah, penis haircut. Yeah, without a doubt. And like
it's
only gotten worse since like season 4 or whatever.
Okay, awesome. So the dickhead gets worse.
Oh yeah, it gets more prominent. But I would
circumcised.
No, it's not that he's uncircumcised. He's not wearing a turtleneck over his face. Like like he's still uncircumcised, so the turtleneck is still down here, but like the head still goes this way.
But okay, so but anyways, you're saying, sorry.
I'm trying to think of like who it might be. There is a girl, her name is Max, and like
Mad Max. Yeah, we're right there at that beginning of that.
You're not there. You're not there.
Well, no, but I mean she's been introduced in the beginning of the season 2. Because Mad Max is one of the people that they're talking about in the beginning of season 2.
A girl,
yes,
with red hair.
Yes,
really? In season 2?
It's season 2. I think the first.
I feel like she was season 3 for some reason.
Well, again, don't no spoilers, but I'm guessing she's an integral character in the show now because she's like they're building up her relationship with her brother or whatever that dude is. I don't know yet.
Oh yeah. Well, I forget what her Billy. I think her brother's name is
they're
Billy.
building up obviously enough of a story between them or a backstory or like some sort of drama there.
Okay. No, all right. Maybe that's right then. I'm trying to think like, all right, where does season 3 leave off and where to go and this and that. I'm trying to think of that type of stuff as well when we're talking about this. But like, I think Max might be the girl that like kind of like has that Mary Kate Olsen type of moment later on in life, just because like as an actress we're like, hey, I hit all this fame out of nowhere being on this show and then it all went away, and then like that's where shit goes wrong because they find any which way to kind of stay in the public light. So it's like, how do I stay in the public eye and like how do I keep the limelight on me?
Yeah.
Well, the way you could do that is by doing something outrageous. Look at Demi Lovato, where it's like, hey, you know what? I changed my pronouns this week, everybody. Post me on every single fucking like news outlet you have. And then like next week, hey, guess what? I'm a fluid fucking human being. And like, I think that I'm now a she, her again. And because like before you couldn't say that she was a she, her without being taken down.
She's
and saying that you were like misinformation, you were disinformation, you were misogynistic, you were everything, transphobic, you were this, you were that, you're blah 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 blah. Like, but like now that she's the she, her again, the floodgates are open again. You can just say whatever the fuck you want again. It's like
a ding dong. That's her pronouns.
It's insane the fact that you can like that, like they can control the media and what you say by what they think they feel.
Yep.
Am I right?
It's absolutely ridiculous. But no, so like I know that we have talked about Stranger Things before, so I was just letting you know we're starting on it, and soon we'll be able to fully.
I'm really glad you are, because like I think it's a great show. I think Hopper and all of them, like they add so much. Winona Ryder is fantastic in the entire series, every season she has been 100% awesome through the entire thing, and like
So
the
maybe
story
next
has
week-
been building so good through the
All right, I'm
entire
stoked for it.
thing.
That's good to hear because the first season was so good, and like both of us were like, okay, how are they going to continue this same level of awesomeness? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm excited. But maybe next week,
story, the nostalgia are the big two factors in the entire thing for like millennials.
perfect.
And it hits on both of those.
Okay, cool.
'Cause we loves good stories and we love nostalgia.
Okay, so then maybe next week, one of the live streams of the week after that, we can do a Stranger Things live stream.
Totally, dude. Like we
Yeah.
can totally do that next week. Like I figure by like
Maybe our
next
2 hour?
Wednesday, you'll be like there. Yeah, our 2 hour episode.
So depending obviously on how much we get through, because it's 4 seasons right now.
Yeah, there's I think 4 seasons right now. They're already talking about the 5th season, which is going to be coming out, I think, like next year, which is like
But luckily
exciting.
enough, it's not like a 23 episode fucking
Yeah,
season.
no, we're talking about 13 episodes max.
Well, I think it's like 8, 9, 8, 9. I was looking it up. So
Oh,
like,
really?
yeah. So
Okay.
it's 8 episodes first, 9 episodes second, 8 episodes third. 9
Yeah,
episodes.
but that 4th season is 2-parter.
It is.
It is a 2-parter.
Okay. I didn't notice that. Maybe I'll have to.
You should probably look into that because it might be like like 8 and 8, which might make it 16. Honestly,
Well, once we get through it, then I'll let you know, and then we can maybe
that's when we'll do the episode. We'll do the
then maybe we
episode
can
as
talk
soon
to-
as you get through all of it.
Yeah, and then maybe we can talk to movies and see if he'll come on and talk about it.
Oh, sure, that'd be fun.
Yeah, exactly. We can go through that, and then once we get through the Stranger Things conversation, where we can talk about some other nostalgic 80s movies or whatever comes up. But with that, I am going to share my screen again, and we're going to talk about this crazy OnlyFans bitch.
Oh shit!
Yes. So, this chick, Courtney Clenney. I spelt it wrong in the title. Wah, wah, wah. Okay, so this chick right here, I wonder what she looks like without makeup on.
Oh, I mean, like,
You know what I mean?
if we're gonna rate her without makeup on, like right there, she has makeup on. Okay, so
Say
like
8, maybe
we got to knock her down a couple of like notches just because of the fact that she's like wearing makeup right there. I mean, like, honestly,
is
she's
that a lazy eye?
his.
Yeah,
One of them is.
That's-
Which one is it?
Well, I didn't say lazy eyes.
Yeah, but
it's a
which
lazy
one is
eye.
it? Which one? I think it's his right eye. His right eye.
I
is
think it's
lazy.
this one because this one's looking
Nope.
more.
Nope. The other one's looking right at him. Like the left eye is right on target.
Yeah, I can do that too. Well, I have a lazy eye.
Well, I never noticed it, but now I. Well, I'm just gonna say that. All right, go back to her image. Go back to her fucking photo. All right, so I'm saying that she's wearing makeup right there, and with makeup on, if I saw her out at a bar or something like that, I would rate her like an 8, like 8.2. Now, if I saw her like without makeup on, like morning after like a night of boning and just kind of like just total
And it all wiped off on the pillow.
the worst fucking shit you could possibly do to a human being. All right, so like, all right, now she's probably like a 6.4, 6.5
exactly.
total.
Yeah.
Total. But like she sells her asshole pics on like online. Like
Like
that's
5.5.
yeah, well, that's a whole other aspect of it. So if you take a 6.5 and she comes to you and she tells you, I'm an OnlyFans model and I just sell my butthole pics for online for like $10 a piece or something like that.
There's gonna be flames coming out of your butthole.
Yeah. For that type of thing. He's like, all right, yeah. Now you dropped down 2 points. Now you're like a 4.5 to me because you are essentially like a prostitute, but not for like good money. You're a prostitute for like shit money. You're like, hey, you know what? You'd buy me a box of SpaghettiOs. Hey, you know what? I'll blow you for that. Like to me, like that's like to me, like that's essentially what she's doing. Like,
come on, man.
Clip out that soundbite. If you buy me a box of spaghetti,
a box of Cheerios or SpaghettiOs.
Yeah, I'm gonna clip that out and surprise you with it in a couple of weeks. Okay, so now that we've gone down our misogynist, white man thing where we are rating this woman. Yeah, that was brought on by me. Sorry,
I had to though, because like, honestly, if a woman's going to put herself out there where she is asking for money for sexual like kind of like imagery, like therefore she deserves to be rated. And I feel like that rating needs to be fair.
Yeah, not like FBI rated, but like rated like stars.
Rated like rated, like rated, not like RID or wait RAID rated that way. Like wow, yeah. Oh, see, I can't. Yay! Yay! I can't spell it. I'm retarded.
All right, so
I'm gonna do it. I can spell it. I promise.
It's my birthday, yay! Okay, so let's see. Going from the headline, he was abuser, the worst kind of abuser. Courtney, OnlyFans star Courtney, Clenney's, not Cheney's, lawyer insists real quick. Okay, this just came up in my mind, and this goes to show how much I pay attention to what I'm reading when I'm reading it. Okay, you saying if you buy me SpaghettiOs, then I'll blow you.
Yeah,
that might be one of those inside jokes that we were talking about with movies. Just saying,
that would be a great T-shirt. If you buy me SpaghettiOs.
I might just take the SpaghettiOs logo and the can and then put your face on it and then just SpaghettiOs and have the little logo be like, if you buy me this can, I'll blow you. Oh, good God.
Maybe.
Okay. With your consent, kind of.
What are you talking about, man?
Yeah, no consent. Fuck that shit. I'm kidding. Good God. Okay. So let me read this again now that I've gotten that out of my head. OnlyFans star Courtney Clenney's lawyer insists she was the victim of domestic violence and killed boyfriend in self-defense as video emerges of her punching him. She appears at extradition hearing in Hawaii. So a little bullet points on this one is Clenney, 26, was arrested in Hawaii on Wednesday. Wednesday of this week on second-degree murder charges filed in Florida after the death of her boyfriend in April. I don't know why I'm like reading it like newscaster. For her boyfriend.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I appreciate it though.
Clenney insisted she stabbed Christian Obumsely.
Can't read it. I'll go with that. Christian Obumsely.
Oh, Bumselly.
A Bumselly.
Bumselly. He sells his bum too. That's where she got the idea for OnlyFans. Christian Bumselly.
I said in my bum.
Yeah. A Christian sells Obums. Obama. 27 in self-defense after he grabbed her by the throat. Let me read that sentence again because that was so broken up. Clenney insisted she stabbed Christian Obumsely. 27 in self-defense after he grabbed her by the throat. On Thursday, prosecutors released footage from February 21st showing Clenney attacking Obumsely in an elevator. I can't say it without giggling.
Oh, okay, but we have to. All right, so the whole concept of this is the fact that the guy grabbed her by the throat and then she stabbed him.
According to,
she was holding a knife because.
So it said hours later, Clenney's lawyer condemned the release of the irrelevant and likely inadmissible footage and accused prosecutors of playing for public opinion. Her attorney, Frank Prieto, pointed out the clip did not show the lead up to the altercation and insisted that Obumsely was the abuser. I can understand that to a point, but it still is evidence. That doesn't mean just because the video leading up to the altercation or whatever, isn't there, that doesn't mean that this isn't a part of evidence of what happened in the sequence of events. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I could agree with that. You have to see all of the context that led up to the stabbing, essentially. And I'm not advocating for her being innocent by any means.
Yeah,
I'm saying that there's more that goes to the story than say, oh, well, she stabbed him, so she must be a murderer. Wait a second, she was holding her by her throat, so. If he's doing that, there must be some kind of context that led up to that.
Yeah, again,
for her to stab him and this and that. I don't know. To me, honestly, if the footage was of just him stab, hold on, I'm gonna do this. If it's just him holding her by the throat and then she stabs him, it looks like she's in self-defense.
Again,
right?
yeah, I completely get that, and I get where they're coming from saying that it doesn't leave out that context, but just because it doesn't leave out that context, it doesn't mean that it shouldn't be a part of evidence of the sequence of events.
You're right.
You know
You're
what I mean?
absolutely right, because there's more that leads up to that. So maybe she
still
did
a part of it.
something.
You know what I mean?
She did something that led him to do something crazy.
Yeah. So okay. So what it says here, let's bring this back. Bring it back. Courtney Clenney, 26, was detained on Wednesday at a rehab center in Lapahoho. In Lapahoho. Sorry, Lapahoho on Hawaii's Big Island, where she was being treated for alcohol issues and PTSD.
Fat ass island.
What?
That fat ass island.
Yeah.
Lapahoho.
Lapahoho, that big ass.
Yeah, fat ass island.
She has been charged with second-degree murder over the April 3rd death of her boyfriend, Christian. I'm not going to try it again. I'm just going to giggle. At the home they shared in Miami, Florida. Clenney insisted she stabbed him in self-defense after he grabbed her by the throat. Prosecutors in Florida on Thursday released video of Clenney attacking him in an elevator on February 21st, but Clenney's lawyer, Frank Prieto, said the video was irrelevant and likely inadmissible. All right, we're going to watch the video now. Let's see this.
I think this is important, though, because, all right, so the video is irrelevant because you can see it right there. Play it again if you can.
Yeah. Let's play it real quick, and then we'll break it down.
Okay.
She seems a little crazy, but it looks like did she get punched? Maybe her face looks a little.
No.
I'm saying her face looks a little red, maybe.
Yeah, she looks like she's already a little beat up.
But that could just be her face red from crying or something.
Crying, drugs,
yeah,
lots of different things that could have led to her having a reddish face or hue to her.
Okay, the one thing I will say is that
he's already defended himself several times from this interaction, it seems like.
Okay, so to me, he looks like LeBron. To me, I'm sorry. To me, okay, throughout that, if it was someone who was beating his woman, he would have continuously done that. But it seems like he was
defending himself the whole time in that
except
video.
There was one little let's go to the replay.
There's one moment where he wasn't defending himself, where he was on the offense and he let go.
Okay. Fuck, I hate how it does that. It looks like her face is a little.
Yeah, no, I see it. It looks like she got punched in the face. It looks like she got punched in the face because of how red it is on her nose.
It's also a potato ass camera.
Yeah, but all right, so but look at that. Look at that image when he held her neck, and that was not her. That was not holding like a throttle.
It was
That
just
was
like, hey, calm
that
down.
was a headlock. That was a headlock with an arm.
That was him saying calm down without saying calm down.
No, that's called a half Nelson in wrestling.
Okay.
Half Nelson is when you have the arm and the head in a lock.
Yeah. But that, I mean,
full Nelson is illegal in wrestling. Now, like, he didn't do any of that. He held like her head and arm in like his I don't know, arm pocket.
To me, what that looked like is, hey, bitch, calm down. I'm trying to push the button on the elevator. Watch it again. Watch it again.
All right, hold on. I'm bringing it back. Go ahead.
Watch. Wait.
I'm looking for hey,
I'm trying to push
that right there. That is what they're talking about.
Is that what they're talking about?
The initial thing. Go back to the very beginning when they first enter the elevator.
Well,
that's what
they're saying. Held by the throat.
Yeah, no, the held by the throat is what they're first talking about. But the fact is that he didn't hold her by the throat. Because when I think of that, I think of this.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't know if that's what they mean by held her by the throat.
No, but this to me held by the throat is this.
Yeah.
Held by the throat by that is like that's a headlock. That's a headlock.
Okay, so at least we're in agreement on that, ridiculous point. If that's what they're saying,
it absolutely is an outrageous point. Yeah, absolutely.
If that's what they're referring to as held by the throat, that's ridiculous. But if they're talking about a separate situation that we don't see here, okay. But just, okay.
Her defense is bullshit, like, to begin with.
From this video, which I can understand how the lawyers would say that this is misleading, because with seeing this, both you and I are both like, yeah, this is ridiculous. So without any context, I can understand where they're coming from. But from this, it's
okay. If they want to say this is outlandish, then they need to provide evidence that it's not.
What's that? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
1, 2, 3, 4. Let her go.
Then she tried to give him a wedgie. There's 14,
1, 2,
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And then he goes after it. So 21 times she tried to hit him. And then he's like, bitch, stop.
But he just barely slapped
He got her he got her on that one. Let's he got her on this one. Bam! But he didn't punch her. He just kind of like,
that was an open hand backhand. Like,
but that wasn't even a slap. It was like just pushing her face away. Like,
and that's why men aren't women and why women aren't men. I like that. Where is this going?
It's the Daily Mail. I'm gonna. I mean, we are talking about OnlyFans, so
yeah, hey, but like, I'm just saying that, like just going off of that right there, it's like nowhere in there did he. There was one moment where he got her in a headlock for about 4 seconds.
Oh, there's her mugshot.
And does she look like she was beaten?
No. So see how her face is a little red right here.
That's emotion, and that's emotion. That's stress. That's all kinds of shit. And like the other photos from her OnlyFans, obviously, and then that one's from her Instagram, I'm sure. Okay,
what you posted on Twitter?
Yeah,
and you posted it had this picture in there. I was like, does she have a bra on, or is she just hanging out like fucking cow udders? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I think they edited her like weird, her boobs weirdly.
She got thick eyes.
I mean, like, she doesn't look bad by any means. Like, if we're gonna rate her, I think she's fucking hot. But like, I shared on like the Whiskey Capitalist the podcast Twitter the fact that like the crazy hot scale is in factor right here, where like we have someone who is hot, like she's obviously like a 9, like easily a 9. And she's fucking insane. So what did you expect? You fucked somebody that was a 9, and then like you wanted to go and fuck other people and this and that. No. You can't do that. You are in a committed relationship at this point, and she wants to kill you for fucking other people. So I think at that point she already committed to like, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy. Or they're out of their mind. Like, as you go hotter, they get more insane. So anywhere from like a 9 to 10 and like above like what was it? It was like it was a hot ratio to crazy ratio. That's what it is. So it's like
How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, so how crazy they're going to be. But like so like if you hit the 9 to 10 range, you're looking at a 9 to 10 range in the crazy as well. Exactly. So you're going to have to deal with that type of shit that comes along with it. Those are the repercussions. You want a 10.
Some dudes can do it, some dudes can't. I personally I don't want to deal with the crazy.
Absolutely not. Yeah, you know what? Like, you know, I'll gladly take an 8. And like, you know, if I can get like an 8.9 on like the on the hot scale and an 8 on the crazy scale, hey, you know what? I won.
The amount of the level of crazy that I will permit is I'm mad at you for something you did in my dream.
Ooh, you know, I had one of those.
That's the highest level.
I had one of those conversations with my wife actually the other night where like she woke up in the middle of the night. I'm watching like a movie or something like that. Like, cause she has this thing about going to bed at like 10:30 p.m. 10:30 p.m. is like, all right, we're going to bed. All right, fair enough. But like,
you have a fucking mouse in your pocket. Who's this wee shit?
No, like, she wants us to go to bed. Like, I can totally stay up, which I do. Which I will like. All right, you know what? Yeah, sure, fine. But I'll watch TV in bed. I'll just sit there and I'll just watch TV and I'll just stay awake till like almost like midnight, 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, and like I'll just like watch shit. What's going on? And yeah, like when that happens, it's like I don't know. Like wait a second. I had one of those moments right now.
I'm kind of retarded.
Absolutely. Talk to me about what we're talking about real quick, Ian, because I'm losing it.
Okay. I'll tell my story and then you'll find your story again. Okay. So,
all right. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm kind of the same way in that since Jen has to get up early for work in the morning, she goes to bed about 9:30 or 10, since we've been watching Stranger Things, about 10:30. But so she goes to bed and she is a fucking vampire, evidently, because she has to sleep in pitch black dark, can't have TV on, nothing on. So what I have to do is I have to put my AirPods in and have it on my fucking phone and have it right next to my head. Yeah, exactly. So, and I'm the person that like, I have to go to bed to music.
Ask her for an iPad. Tell her you need an iPad.
Oh no, I'm fine with it. It's no big deal. It's almost like a white noise thing for me. And I'm respectful enough of my wife to know that that's the way she is, even though I am. So I like turn the luminescence down, or the brightness down, or whatever. Yes, I did use a big word just now. It's the glasses. Luminescence.
Four syllables.
So I'm respectful enough because, you know, if I'm respectful of her in this area, then she'll be respectful of me in another area to me, you know, whatever. It's a give and take, whatever. It's a marriage. And so I'm more of a night person anyway. So usually I'll tuck her in, you know, go to bed. Hi, you know, good night, bye. And then I'll go and do my own shit and work. You know, how many times have I texted you at fucking 4 a.m? Like, hey, check this out. And I'm like, no, I need an answer. And you're like, hey, dude, I'm
why aren't you responding?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh, that's right. I'm the weird one in this situation. But like, I stay up. And so she, like, for a little while, it was like an issue. But then after, she's like, that's just Ian. That's how he is. He stays up late and whatever. And it's probably working in bars forever. Like, I'm just used to being a night owl and being up late. And so when I come in, it's pitch black dark, and I'll completely admit I'm not a person that likes the dark. I've always had an issue with it. So having something on, like, you know, and then watching Stranger Things and shit just being fucking creepy as fuck, that doesn't help. But yeah, so like I have to, I kind of the same thing. So basically what you were talking about is how you go to bed and you'll sit in there and watch TV, and I'm jealous.
Yeah. I'll sit in there. I'll watch all kinds of different series and this and that. And like, just kind of like, I don't know, watch whatever I really want, essentially. But like for the most part, I'll like catch up on podcasts and this and that, or whatever it is I want to like try and like stay up on for the most part.
Yeah.
But like one of the things I did want to talk about though tonight was one of the movies I ended up watching this past week. I bought it. I bought it because I was like, all right, I love David Cronenberg. Like for the fact, go ahead. You went mute. I don't know if that means anything to you, but like I can't hear you. You're leaving the chat for a second. I feel like that's going to be like a regular thing that happens on the show, but like maybe you'll go around and fix that. I'm not sure, but like I'm going to remove this. No, it's not going to be a regular thing. Okay. Well, Ian's going to come right back in just a moment. But until then, I want to share the fact that I watched recently the show, or it's not a show, it's a movie. It just came out. It's from David Cronenberg. It's called Crimes of the Future. And I just watched it recently. And here's Ian. He's back.
Hey, I looked for a cord that I can get because I think what it is the cord from the Rodecaster to the USB. To the USB plug-in. I think that's what it is because I looked it up and they were saying that that's kind of what like a common issue. So I'm gonna look up a more stable cord, I guess. Anyways, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I was just gonna bring up the fact that I was watching the movie Crimes of the Future.
Okay.
And what I thought that was most interesting about the whole thing was the fact that they were trying to bring up like surgery was like the new sex, and like it kind of reminded me of the whole Repo the musical. Do you remember that one? Do you ever see that movie? Wow. Okay, so 2 movies you haven't seen, but like Repo the musical was about an organization that would reclaim organs that were financed by the government in order for you to stay alive. So like if you didn't make your payments, the government would send a repo man to come and take the organ back.
Sounds very familiar. Maybe I just don't remember by that title, but that does sound familiar.
So, all right, well, there's multiple things that go along with this. So like with the Repo the musical, it was the original one that was like 2013, I want to say, maybe around then, maybe 2008. I'm not sure, but like they literally, it would be like a life-giving organ. They would just like, the guy would just come and like kill you and rip it out. And it was a musical. It was like an off-Broadway thing that went to like a movie, and it was so fucking cool. It had Miles from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the original movie. Like that was like the original thing. And then there was this movie that came out as a remake of it that wasn't a musical. It was called Repo, which is very similar to the whole idea.
Paul Sorvino in it?
What's that?
Paul Sorvino and Paris Hilton?
Well, Paris Hilton was in the original one, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. That's why I was asking.
Okay, so the original one is fantastic. It's a musical where there's lots of industrial songs. It's very kind of like 9 Inch Nails, kind of like vibe to the whole thing, like that's the whole like industrial vibe to me.
Let's try that one more time.
Boom, boom, yes, that.
I gotta fuck with you. Sorry.
Yeah,
like I said, I'm gonna be faded one of these times. You'll be able to get me.
It's totally fine, but I appreciate the spotlight.
Okay,
so like,
let me. It has a description of what the movie is, just so everyone.
Okay, go ahead, do that.
Says humans adapt to a synthetic environment with new transformations and mutations. With his partner Caprice, Saul Tenser, a celebrity performance artist, publicly showcases the metamorphosis of his organs in avant-garde performances. That's the Crimes of the Future.
Yes, and all that is very relevant to this movie, Crimes of the Future, where I'm talking about the fact that like, so in this,
that was for Crimes of the Future.
Okay, so that is for I thought that's what you were describing, but I wasn't sure because we're talking about like Repo the musical, but like so Repo the musical is just more or less about like the reclaiming of organs and whatnot. But like the fact is that like when it comes to crimes of the future, I have to show you like some of these images because the images are the ones that really get me. The stoners, huh? Yeah. Totally.
Are you a little bit behind? Because I remember we were talking about Half Baked. It used to be a stoner.
Yeah, we're right there.
Funny that the comment about stoners is way late.
maybe a little bit, but we're gonna share this right now.
Okay.
So like, hold on 1 second. We got a bunch of good nights going on. Oh, good night. I love you. Mwah. Good night. Yeah. Mwah. Good night.
Good night.
The kids are all going to sleep right now.
Right.
And the wife is doing her grand duty of getting them all to sleep while I am doing this. So I think I appreciate her very deeply for doing that.
Did you come up with a new term for Biden? A grand duty?
A grand duty. That's a grand duty.
That's what he is. He's a grand duty. Oh, are you about to play a trailer?
No. I'm not playing a trailer. I'm just showing images.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I didn't want to like break any copyrights and stuff like that. But what I wanted to show was so like this is a great example of what this movie kind of is about. So like the movie itself is super interesting where it's really about the evolution of humanity. And like that's really essentially what David Cronenberg is going for, where like there is a subsect of human where they are developing new organs to be able to process and digest synthetic things, like meaning like they can like digest plastics. And this is like a whole thing in the movie where it's literally like the thing of the movie where like they have like the main actor and like his kind of like counterpart, which is like this like really super hot like female, and like they are doing this avant-garde performance thing, and it's all surgery. It's like this like it's avant-garde surgery thing, and it's like he develops these new organs because of who he is. His DNA is making him develop these new organs on a regular basis, and he constantly, because of government regulation, has to regulate them. He has to get them like what's the word for it? Like serial it has to get a serial number for the organ. Okay. Yeah. And then on top, it has to register. There it is. He has to register the organ and then have it removed from himself. So,
so he's like how they grow ears off of mice or like anything like that, and they take it off that mouse and they put it on someone else.
Similar, but he has no control over it. Okay. So he's just kind of like he's developing these organs within himself. And then there's another guy who has never done any of this type of surgery or anything like that. And he goes to him and is like, hey, you know what? Why don't you just let your body develop into what it wants to be? And he's like, no, because the government wants me to be this, and I have to like allow myself to like, you know, like only be these organs and whatnot. So like there's this whole like controversy of like what is allowed and what is becoming. So becoming versus allowed is this whole like kind of
evolution type thing.
It's an evolution type controversy in the whole thing. Now this image is kind of like deceiving to the entire movie because like, all right, like this is a performance art piece in the movie where this guy has a ton of ears over his entire body. Like there's ears everywhere, and he's doing this whole like kind of like jazz dance, almost kind of like
okay, so what you're saying is this picture is hearsay?
Hearsay might be a way of putting it.
Ears.
Hearsay, yeah, I get you. But I'm just saying that, like,
No, it seems like an interesting movie.
No, absolutely. And the thing is, like, I watched it, and my wife was exhausted from like a whole weekend of like bachelorette party like nonsense. So I was watching it with her, and she fell asleep. And I'm like, "Wake the fuck up! We gotta watch this movie." And she said, "I'm going to sleep." I'm like, "Oh, I'm watching it without you. I don't give a fuck." and she, all right, that's fine.
But
and
it seems like something you'd watch again, at least.
Oh yeah, when I told her about it, and like the thing is, like, there's these like so like this is kind of like the main guy.
That's his O face.
That's his O face. Oh, you're cutting into me. Oh, and that's the funny thing about the whole thing is that it's like talking about like surgery is like the new sex. Where like because people have developed.
Oh, you mean trans?
No, I'm saying that the fact that like people have developed to the point where pain doesn't exist. Where like they can get cut and they can have these like open like surgeries happening without anesthesia, and like they are just kind of like existing in like the moment. So it's absolutely insane. It's really fucking insane. There's the guy with all the ears on his body.
That's weird.
It's really fucking weird. And like I can just tell you that, like, all right, so like in this scenario, all right, so what's her face? Oh, the girl from Twilight.
Yeah, I saw it's Kristen Stewart. The
yeah. Kristen Stewart is all the way to the right in that photo right there, which she plays this really weird fucking role in this thing where she's like super enthused about like what this guy's like art is.
Wait,
and
she has emotions in this one?
Yeah, but it's over the top, which doesn't make it good.
Yeah, because she's not good at showing emotions in a movie. She's
like, "Oh my god, you're doing this. Oh my god." Like she's over the top with everything that she does. And like this is one of those. Now, also the guy that's in the bed here, he's like the main character in the whole thing, but he kind of falls into this whole like Antifa kind of vibe. Like he like, I don't know, like he looks like a ninja walking around in the movies, and like because he's always being operated on, he's just like laying in the bed most of the time. And then you have like
Viggo Mortensen, and Viggo Mortensen is a pretty good actor. I like him.
Okay, yeah, no, I thought it was great. I thought it was great. And then like the girl to the left here, she's just smoking hot. I have no idea who she's from, but like I can tell you that like she was smoking hot in the movie, and like you know there's a few boob shots in there which will make you want to watch the movie for sure.
I'm definitely gonna clip this out and put it in the reviews.
Lots of boob shots. You're gonna want to watch this for the boob shots, everybody. Just letting you know.
Okay, so the last thing, a little palate cleanser, is okay. Wait.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Do you know what the original use of a chainsaw was?
Not to cut trees?
Like why it was invented?
Not to cut trees?
It was not, and you're gonna have nightmares now.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
So let's see. So when we think about a chainsaw, we're likely to associate it with cutting through trees. Whilst you aren't wrong, its origins didn't start there. Oh no. In fact, you might want to sit down for this one. Are you sitting, sir?
I'm sitting, but I'm ready to stand.
Chainsaws were originally invented to cut through bone, but not for any old reason. They were created to assist with childbirth. Whoa. Modern medicine has come a long way since the late 1700s, thankfully. We can thank advancements in the medical field as to why women are not having to live with the consequences of the chainsaw after giving birth. So what was the chainsaw originally used for? These days, a woman has a C-section, also known as a cesarean, when there are complications with the baby passing through the birth canal. Let me see. In fact, it can be predicted through scans whether it will be needed or put into place the last minute. It wasn't that way. It wasn't the same back in the early 1700s. I can't fucking read right now. If the baby was too big or lying the wrong way, then it became a very difficult birth. Because the birth was likely to become horrific, with the potential that either the baby, mother, or both would die, a solution was created. This was the symphysiotomy?
Symphysiotomy.
Does that... symphysiotomy? I hope I'm being that
I'll
right.
go with that. I will second you on that.
Symphysiotomy.
Symphysiotomy.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't pronounce things very well.
I'm glad we have the sober and drunk pronunciation of this.
Symphysiotomy.
Synonym. Whilst helpful at the time, it didn't come without its problems. It likely did save a lot of lives, whether that was the mother's or the baby's. It usually left the woman with lasting effects. No shit. These were known to be both mental as well as physical, and here's why. The procedure involved using a small chainsaw, not like the kind you see today, though similar, with a knife to remove cartilage from the pelvis. They would then manually widen the pelvis, creating extra room for the baby to pass through. What the fuck, dude? What the fuck? So, yeah, that for vaginas.
Yeah. All I can imagine is like Evil Dead, like Ash with like his like chainsaw hand, and is like, "This is my boomstick."
Yeah. What did he call that witch that he was fighting? You crazy.
The witch that he was fighting, I'm not sure.
Yeah, down in the water. Like, I think it was Evil Dead or Ash.
That was evil. That was Army of Darkness. Hold on, I'm pulling it up too. Army of Darkness.
Who can do it first?
Fight scene. Videos. We're past the 2-hour mark. We can totally pull this off.
Nah, it's with clips still. You can just say what you want.
That's not it.
It doesn't change the rules on copyrights. It just
the pit fight. The pit fight. Here it is. It's a deadite, but no matter how you look at it, it's a deadite.
Yeah, we can't actually play the clips.
I know you can't. I'm just going to kind of show like little snippets. Here he goes. So bump. He goes into the pit, and then like he's like fighting like this like deadite bitch.
Yeah, no, I know.
Here is your chainsaw.
Yeah, that's what that was for. All right,
that's enough.
All right, yeah, exactly.
See, you're not gonna get got for that.
Please, if we do,
no, you're not. Stop it.
Just messing with you. All right. Okay. So yeah, I think we're good on that, and I think the wife just got home, so I'm going to go eat some food and watch
fake news.
And I'm gonna go watch some Stranger Things.
All right. Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And you take care. Hey,
before we get out of here,
let's thank everyone for watching and for tuning in for the Whiskey Capitalist podcast.
Much appreciated. Make sure you click like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. If you're on Twitter, send us a little tweet. If you're on Facebook, comment down there, like it, share it, all that. Go to solo.to/Til Death Podcast for all the links for my podcast. Go to solo.to/thewhiskeycapitalist for all of our links. If you want any digital media or anything done on the back end, production, anything like that, go to solo.to/tildeathstudios. And
my link is down here for patreon.com. See, you don't give me any warning. You're just like, hey, now you talk about my thing. And it's like, all right, so this is my link down here for the patreon.com/Sippin with Shawn, where you can go and check out everything I'm doing over on that link, where it's my own podcast as well.
Yep.
But like, yeah,
I just gotta keep you on your toes there, buddy.
Yeah, seriously, you're making me pay attention. God damn.
Yeah, I know. And also, real quick, we are going to have this awesome shirt coming up here soon. It's going to be, I have it set up. We just need to wait until we get, a couple more items. And we just wait until we get a couple more items on the store, and then we'll be able to put the links and everything for it. We're also going to have this shirt as well, which should be pretty dang cool. And I kind of like it. Looks like that old school. I really
like it. I think we need to launch this stuff like right away, because I'll end up buying like a bunch of shit.
Oh yeah, and let me know when you do that too, since we are the owners of the page. We'll be able to I think get it at like a discount or something. So and real quick before we do this, and Til Death Podcast just came out with our new episode.
It's insane.
Hide your grannies, Angry Monkey. Okay, so just had to say that we just put it up today at noon, so go watch that. It's been about 3 or 4 months since we've done an episode, so make sure you check it out. And also, thank you for coming by, guys. We do appreciate it.
Yeah, we really do appreciate it for sure.
And please, with the information that we gave you about chainsaws, do not try and chainsaw your wife.
Don't do it at home. It's not approved. It's not like an affirmed like medical procedure by any means. Just consult with your doctor first.
When they say "Make America Great Again," they don't mean bring back the vagina chainsaws. Okay,
that's the main thing. Yeah, but like for the most part, I would say just make sure that you are liking, following, and subscribe to everything that is going on with the Whiskey Capitalist, and you are sharing it, talking about it with your friends, and letting everybody else know, hey, there's these two great guys that are doing something really fun on the internet, and you should be a part of it as well.
Okay, there is one thing we do need to celebrate before we leave.
Okay,
we hit over 1,000 followers on Twitter.
We did, which is actually, it really is a milestone, which is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, and it's been crazy. And what's cool is it's gotten you a lot of followers, and me as well on our separate one, and the Til Death Podcast one, which is pretty cool.
Very cool.
So we do have to say thank you to Shawn over here, and make sure you follow us at I'm Shawn Cav for him, and at Ian Til Death on all the social medias. But until next time, guys, which probably should be Monday. It should be.
See you later.